Modern society moves fast, too fast to hear what the body is quietly saying. It produces, optimizes, accelerates, and in doing so, it teaches us that slowing down is a weakness. We have learned to confuse movement with progress, activity with meaning, performance with worth. In this industrial rhythm, the human being is often reduced to a function, a metric, a measurable output. And because this model is repeated everywhere, it begins to feel natural. This is one of the most powerful cognitive illusions of our time. What is repeated often enough starts to feel true. Yet life has never been fully contained in a chart. Industry has brought comfort, technology, and longevity. We know this, and we benefit from it, but it has also created distance, quietly, gradually, between humans and nature, between mind and body, between treatment and meaning. Oncology stands at the center of this tension. It represents extreme scientific precision and, at the same time, the most intimate human vulnerability. It reminds us that illness is not only cellular, it is existential, and in the presence of illness, many rediscover something the mind already knew, that life is not measured only in duration, but in presence. Here, another cognitive shift occurs, the contrast effect. What once seemed ordinary becomes precious. What felt secondary becomes essential. Time, silence, attention, connection. In this space, spirituality is not an escape. It is a gentle form of resistance. It does not deny science, it walks alongside it. It reminds us that the body is not an isolated machine, but a living territory shaped by emotion, memory, culture, and time. Healing is not always about winning. Sometimes healing is about reconciliation, reconciling the body with what it has carried for too long, reconciling the mind with what it had to ignore in order to survive. And when understanding begins to settle, something subtle happens. The mind naturally seeks alignment between meaning and action. This is the bias toward internal coherence. We begin to become what we understand. Style culture, often dismissed as superficial, takes on a different role here. It becomes a quiet language. Choosing a form, an aesthetic, a rhythm of life is not an escape from reality, but a way of placing intention within it. In a world of standardization, style becomes presence, a way of saying without words, I am still here, despite pressure, despite fear, despite exhaustion. And the more this posture is repeated, the more familiar it feels. The mind works this way. What feels familiar becomes safe, and what feels safe becomes sustainable. Change does not arrive as a shock. It arrives gently, almost unnoticed. In an industrial world that fragments, spirituality reconnects. In a system that treats, it humanizes. In an age that consumes, it invites contemplation. And when we contemplate, even briefly, something shifts. Time seems to slow. Stress loosens its grip. Perception widens. This experience becomes internal proof that progress does not always move outward. Perhaps the future does not lie in opposition between science and consciousness, but in their dialogue. A medicine that treats the body without forgetting the soul. An industry that innovates without erasing life. A culture that does not imitate but reveals. Because at the heart of progress, one truth remains. The human being was never meant to be only efficient. It was meant to be present, and once presence is felt, it is rarely forgotten.